All right, what is this? Hey, real quick before we start this video, a lot of you guys have been asking for team shirts. Finally, Autohaus has t-shirts, so it would really help out a lot if you supported the shop, got some merch, some shirts, stickers, support the media work, support me and my dog. Check out that merch store so I don't starve, you guys. Well, we haven't done a shop update video in a long time, and I'll tell you why, you guys. It's been busy and I've been tired, but here we are. Let's go take a look. All right, so spoiler alert, we're doing a beam swap to this car. Excuse the trash bag, we actually got the oil pan off. You have to take a big cut out of the oil pan to clear the steering rack, and unfortunately in my rush I took too much off and now there's a hole in it, so I'm sending that guy off to get welded tomorrow morning. Just to give you an idea, so Koki power rack, the Zenki power rack, you can tell it's a Zenki because it's actually much bigger than the Koki. Fun fact, Koki manual and power rack boots are exactly the same. This was just a power rack with no lines on it. Pretty typical. The owner's on a little bit of a budget, so we're going to, priority number one is to get this engine swapped and running first, and then we'll take care of everything else. So there used to be one more line, but the combination of that banjo and the bolt actually hit the oil pan itself. There's ribs in that pan and then actually the pan itself, so we actually had to remove that line because the height of this actually hit the pan itself. You notice I have the entire front cross member out. If you guys remember the video from Corner Balanced,
are we clear over here?
I think we got room. The guy who originally did the swap cut the upper radiator support and we put the engine in this way. With a lift, it is far easier to bolt the engine and trans to the cross member and drop the car on top. Yeah, you can see shiny new bolts because we're running the JSP beam swap mounts. JSP subframe spacers and also the JSP beam swap transmission mount. Rolling back a little bit. So why are we doing a beam swap to this car? The 4A in this gave up. There was a hole in the engine block. And unfortunately, a common theme, he was sold an engine that was good, and we compression and leak down tested it, and of course it was not good. It actually had a blown head gasket, low compression in cylinder 4, and then every cylinder's valves leaked, so definitely not good. And the owner basically said, hey, for this large sum of money to build this 4A, and I'm end up with this horsepower and this, where I could spend the same amount of money plus a little bit more and have all of this and that. We bought this complete beams, engine, and trans from an importer on eBay. We just have it torn down right now to make sure everything's kosher before we put it back together and get this thing running. We compression and leak down tested this guy. 0% leak on all cylinders. Compression was like 220, 230, which is excellent. But pretty cool. This thing from the importer already had a Toda lightweight flywheel in it. I'm not sure what brand Japanese clutch this is, but very similar to a TRD or Excedi Stage 2. This might retail for like $800 in itself, which is absolutely excellent. That this already came with the engine. That's great. So where else are we at with this guy? Timing covers off to inspect all the timing components. A good sign was this belt was recently replaced. You can see this timing belt tensioner looks fairly new too. I could tell this belt was recently replaced because you guys can see that factory yellow line on the belt is almost not even worn, so it looks like whoever owned this before, did the service at the regular intervals. If you guys are wondering, we're not doing ITBs because we're on a budget, and again, priority number one is to get this in the car and running. So what do we do? So what do we have? So we have the throttle lock from Excessive, which allows this guy to open all the way. Throttle cable bracket from Excessive, and then per Excessive instructions we deleted drive-by-wire. So if you take this cover off, there's a big metal center gear. You take that guy off to delete drive-by-wire, and that helps this guy move more freely, so it really feels like a cable-driven throttle body instead of like having resistance and a delay in this from the drive-by-wire. We're deleting the factory coolant controlled idle air control. Will probably be running either the Panic or some other stepper motor, idle air control. No wire harness, right? So luckily, Bermuda Wire, who is local to us in the Bay Area, will be wiring up this car. And we also have a Link Monsoon ready for this guy. SQ Engineering slimline rear outlet. This helped tremendously with firewall clearance. We did not have to hit anything on the chassis running this guy. The owner does want to keep heater in this car. One question I have, these heater lines, this is 5/8, which is normal. This is 3/4, so either I need to get a 3/4 to 5/8 adapter to run the AE86 heater lines. But I remember looking back at 2017 doing this swap with Grand Mighty. We didn't have an issue with this, so I'm really curious on his car, and I wish I would have documented it, what we did for this hose right here. How come the AE86 heater hose, which is supposed to be 5/8, fit over this 3/4 line? And again, just like that video, we cut the line right here per SQ instructions, and then I just used a crimper to make a bead around this guy. Headers! I have the custom flange made by Excessive. I am going to challenge myself by making the downpipe or the bottom part of the headers for this car. So this is gonna be tough because these headers basically shoot right into that steering shaft. So yeah, challenging myself to fab the bottom part of these headers. But we're actually making good progress considering this car hasn't even been here for 2 weeks. We'll show a walk around of us mocking up the engine and the trans right now. So yeah, after the mock-up, I gave the measurements to my favorite, well, pretty much my favorite shop in San Jose, South Bay Driveline. We are going to run a one-piece drive shaft. By the way, another reason for the mock-up, you can see these JSP mounts are slotted. So we decided to mount this with the engine in the most rearward position as possible. So that's not only going to change your drive shaft length, but also what your headers look like. And I used to wonder why no company stepped up and made aftermarket plug-and-play beam swap AE86 headers. But then now I get it, because what swap mounts are you running and in what position do you put them in? How have you spaced up or down your engine, right? Are you running subframe spacers? How thick are they? Are you not running subframe spacers? All those variables are gonna change what those headers are gonna look like. So now I get it, why there's no plug-and-play beam swap header on the market right now. But hopefully that changes soon to help us all out. So yeah, what else do we have in the shop? Celica Supra 7.5. I have a customer Corolla with a Celica Supra rear end, so 7.5 inch. We are doing a full diff build for him. There's a COS two-way. Fun fact, I believe this is the same exact LSD that an IS200 takes. I know this part number was pretty hard to find. Here we go, the COS part number right there. So yeah, COS two-way LSD, because this is going to be a drift car. It's actually a F20C swapped AE86 with a turbo strap to it. We're waiting on that ring gear right now. Big plus to the Celica Supra 7.5 gear set is that a lot of Toyota stuff runs a 7.5 inch ring gear. So there was a lot of companies to choose from. So yeah, we got the ring gear on order. See, got our bearings and seals on order. Or no, we don't. They're right here. What are you talking about? It's late, you guys. I'm tired. What am I talking about? Isn't that right, Dexter? It's late. Look at you. Look at your sweater. All right, what else we got? Ah, yes. This one's been here for a while, but for good reason. J160 for a customer in Hawaii. This transmission got shipped to me from Miami to California, and then it's going to go to Hawaii. Another theme here. Transmissions that show up at the Autohaus seem to be worldwide travelers. How fun. I wish I could travel the world too. So full J160 rebuild. This one I think will be swapped behind a 4AGE. There's still a lot you can improve with this transmission. So again, full rebuild. We replaced everything that was worn. So like the output bearing, input bearings down there, input pocket bearing, a majority of the synchros. Really special. You can see I sent this out to, thank you CTP Cryogenics, my favorite place to send stuff. We had a handful of critical items, WPC and deep cryogenic treated in this transmission. So for sure, third gear, fourth gear, cryo WPC'd. You can't see it, but the input shaft, few other critical pieces that got treated on this transmission. Like every transmission at the Autohaus. Absolutely clean. So yeah, still working on this guy. Almost there, but still a ways to go. But yeah, and just for fun, on the floor, there's a R34 GTT Skyline. Brand new transmission in the OEM wrapping. What is that for? Who knows? Why don't you guys take a guess? Let me know in the comments below. We still have that R32 GTR subframe for sale. I'm actually having a tough time selling this guy, but all the bushings are out, ready for powder coat. I'll push some pictures, but yeah, full GK Tech reinforcements already welded in. So basically, I'm just waiting on if someone wants the anti-squat mod from GK Tech welded into this guy. Otherwise, this guy is ready to take and powder coat, ready to drop in your car. No need to wait how many months. Take it out, take the bushings out, strip it down, weld this in. You should be ready to go. I was trying to do this thing as a core exchange program. I've been having a tough time finding a buyer for that guy. But yeah, if you're in the Bay Area, have a R32 Skyline, and want a reinforced and pretty subframe, don't want to wait. I got you right here. We can even install right here. So yeah, a few other fun things about this car. Well, I could tell you more, but why don't we lower this car and take a look. A little bit of history. These rims are pretty rare. I think they're Tomcats. They actually used to belong to Battle Garage Grant, I believe. You see peeking out here, Koki Panic axles. I built this diff for this customer a long time ago. I believe Tomei 1.5 way or 2 way. I gotta look again, but and then a 4.7 mandatory, the Weir solid spacer. Yeah, you can see this guy. Well, I guess that was a bad. This doesn't show it's solid, right? But yeah, you guys, you gotta believe me, it's solid. This car also on NX, got the BG Swift collab rear springs. You can see this guy likes to run his car low, but that's absolutely okay. So yeah, why don't we lower the lift and show you guys what's in this car. This thing's got some pretty cool party tricks inside too. All right, neato, let's check it out. All right, as the name implies, the owner really drives this car. Probably why the 4A blew up, because he really uses it. Can't show the license plate, but yeah, really expensive taillights. Really, really expensive, my goodness. No, it's actually not the 500,000 mile club. Dexter, be quiet. We're trying to film a video. I kept the Martellius headers in here to trying to, you know, give myself a baseline what these, you know, the bottom part of this looks like. Give me something to reference. There's that flange from Excessive for the headers. Beam swap Koyo radiator. Thank you, Battle Garage. Did not give it to us, but we're buying it because we need it for the swap. And then also, you guys can get a sneak peek. This car had a full Weldon roll cage from Drift Cave in Morgan Hill. Pretty nice. I'll show you guys the inside too. Look at that carpet. What is that? What is that? You can tell this guy has some nice friends drawing a beautiful hot dog on the hood. Look at that. Look at that. What do you think about that, Dexter? What do you think about hot dogs? Hot dogs? So yeah, super Spartan in here. What am I doing? Why don't I just open the door? Again, one of my favorite parts about this car is probably the full Weldon Sonoma spec cage from Drift Cave. When I saw this car come back with the cage in it, I was absolutely blown away because this thing's super sick. Purple is the theme of this car. Got the crushed velvet dash cover. I wonder if he drifts like this. I bet you he actually does. How are you supposed to see how fast you're going? Non-sunroof GTS hatch, by the way, so yes, really desirable. And then all the zip ties in the world. And the doggy. What do you think about that dog? We got the Excessive fan shroud, which also comes with a E-fan. Totally forgot about that. Oh yeah, purple window knob. I thought this guy was pretty cool too, except this guy's kind of hard to turn, but yeah. When I saw that, I was like, oh, sick, it's purple too. T3 door cards. Again, purple is the theme of this car. What else we got? Oh yeah, this is a wrap, by the way. T3 rear taillight shelf. These guys look really nice, by the way. I was a little hesitant just seeing the pictures online, but now that I'm looking at it and talking about it, all these T3 panels actually look really nice. I mean, fitting for this car, you know? Yeah, no engine bay. Again, no cutting because we're gonna put in the engine from the bottom. Some hurdles. Again, with the JSP mounts and that SQ Slimline, we did not need to hit any part of the firewall. This guy is really bulky. I know some people have alternatives for the charcoal canister. We're actually gonna modify the brackets a little bit so that this guy sits closer to the body, and then the intake manifold and everything on the beams will clear that. We're gonna do the factory fuel filter. We gotta make ourselves a fuel feed and return line because the stock beams runs a returnless system. But yeah, a lot of progress for this car being here less than 2 weeks. Something else I wanted to talk about. Oh yes! So here we are at the transmission. The only clearance issue we had where we had to modify something was actually the transmission itself. So if you look, you can see we ground out this section of the trans because actually this thing hit the fuel lines. Not a big deal. That basically looked like that. We just ground that nub off and I told my guy, clearance this valley a little bit. Very nice. No bashing of the firewall, no nothing. The only clearance issue we had. Short shop update video. I know I haven't done one of these in a while. I've gotten a lot of inquiries over the years for engine swaps, and there's a big reason why I haven't taken them. Isn't that right, Dexter? Why haven't we taken the engine swaps? Why is that? Tell me. There's a lot of big reasons why I was willing to take on this particular swap. Yeah, I've known this customer for a long time personally through the Corolla community. He's been an excellent customer for both me and Battle Garage. He's done a lot of work with us and spent a lot of money with us over many years. When people inquire for engine swaps, it's usually how much for this swap. Well, it doesn't work like that because I don't think anyone can give you a solid estimate how much a complete swap is going to cost. What's going to go wrong? What's missing? How much time is it going to take? Is something going to break? What are your expectations? All these things combined, you cannot accurately predict the labor rate for how much a complete swap is going to cost start to finish. With that being said, right, when you want a swap, if I say, hey, we need this, or this broke, it's gonna be 500, it's gonna be 1,000, we need another 2,000. That's kind of something you have to expect. You know, completely different engine, harness, fuel system, everything in a almost 40-year-old car. Stuff's gonna go wrong, stuff's not gonna fit, we're gonna wait on parts, stuff's gonna take longer than we thought. All these factors combined, you know, can you imagine why I would shy away from taking on a swap, right? Yeah, I gave my guys an example when we were compression leak down testing this engine. I pulled the coil packs out and they were a little bit damp on the boots, so the spark plug tube seals are probably leaking. You know, I've had customers in the past where they probably would have said, if I told them like, hey, it's going to be this much parts and labors, we should probably reseal the valve cover and replace the related gaskets. You know, I've had customers in the past where it's like, do we really have to? How long can I go without it? Like, this is really stressful for me because especially for a job like this, a swap, it's kind of like you already have to expect that there's going to be a lot more additional costs. And, you know, I told the customer, the most important thing when we do this is like, we have to have this trusting relationship where you got to trust that if there's going to be additional costs, I'm going to tell you we need more money for it. And you just got to trust what I'm saying. And yeah, I guess that's the moral of the story is selecting bigger jobs like this. I would say swaps or long-term restorations are the biggest jobs I get here. All of those, you really need a trusting relationship with both between the customer and the person working on your car. Which is not always easy. I get it, right? But yeah, thanks to listening to my long spiel. We will continue to document how the swap on this beams project is going. I'll be honest with you guys. Running the shop has been tough. There's been financial ups and downs. I have 2 employees to take care of now, in addition to this guy. So yeah, I would say 99% of days I am just like emotionally not there to do videos like this. I could use all the encouragement I can get, please. But yeah, appreciate all the support thus far, you guys. We'll continue to make progress on this, guys, and document it. I am excited as heck to see this car run. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. I will catch you guys next time. Where are you going, Dexter? Next time. Ah!